At the SALF station, which is short for Search for Alien Life Forms, an organization whose mission is to search for extraterrestrial life, Max and Laura are on watch when they suddenly pick up a strange signal. As they struggle to understand why the signal keeps appearing and disappearing on the radar, Steve unexpectedly shows up to take over the shift. By that time, the signal has already vanished, so Steve assumes that Max and Laura are just making things up. Just as he finishes brushing it off, the signal suddenly returns, which leads all three of them to believe that this could be a sign of alien activity. Meanwhile, Mystery Inc. is driving across a vast desert. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy turn the music up way too loud, waking the other three from their sleep. Shaggy points out that there is a town up ahead and says they should stop to grab something to eat. Even though Mystery Inc. only had dinner a few hours earlier, dog time works differently, so for Scooby-Doo it already feels like a long time ago. All of a sudden, a sandstorm forms and begins to grow stronger, making it impossible for Shaggy to see what lies ahead. As a result, he accidentally drives the Mystery Machine onto United States government property. While they are there, Mystery Inc. hears a strange sound and they are shocked to spot a UFO in the sky. In a brief moment of distraction, Shaggy fails to notice what is in front of him, causing the Mystery Machine to crash into a giant cactus. Although no one is hurt, the sight of the UFO leaves them with countless unanswered questions. To make matters worse, the Mystery Machine's engine is damaged and refuses to start. Luckily, there is a town nearby where they might be able to find help. However, the thought of walking through a cold and dangerous desert terrifies Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. With no other option, Mystery Inc. decides to leave Scooby-Doo and Shaggy behind to watch over the Mystery Machine while the others head toward the town. The moment Velma, Fred and Daphne leave, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy immediately feel relieved because they know exactly where the other three hid the Scooby snacks. Unfortunately, only one Scooby snack is left, forcing the two of them to fight over it. During the struggle, the Scooby snack nearly falls into a hole, but they manage to save it just in time, allowing both of them to breathe a sigh of relief. They decide to split it in half, but at that very moment, a jackalope suddenly charges in and snatches it away. The jackalope is a fictional creature commonly found in North American folklore. Moves so quickly that it soon vanishes from Scooby-Doo and Shaggy's sight near a cave. Suddenly, an eerie light shines out from inside the cave, which sparked their curiosity. What they do not realize is that aliens are now standing right behind them. As soon as Scooby-Doo and Shaggy turn around, they are filled with terror and immediately run for their lives. In an attempt to trick the aliens, they disguise themselves as cacti, but the plan fails almost instantly, forcing them to keep running. It is not until they reach a diner that the aliens finally stop chasing them. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy quickly tell the others everything that happened, but no one seems convinced. They describe the aliens as slimy and green, with huge and glowing eyes and bodies that constantly change in height. While they are still talking, food suddenly appears in front of them, so all of their fear instantly disappears. At that point, the waitress speaks up and says that she has heard many stories about people seeing aliens. That is why the townsfolk rarely go outside at night. She also mentions Lester, who was once abducted by aliens himself. Now the innkeeper speaks up and says that local livestock has been mysteriously disappearing for months, which has caused many residents to leave the town. After hearing this, Mystery Inc. immediately wants to talk to Lester. Lester does not hesitate and begins to share his personal experience. He explains that one night while he is standing outside, a sudden beam of light appears out of nowhere. Lester loses consciousness, and when he wakes up, he finds his body tightly strapped to a table. Beside him, there are several aliens communicating with one another while attaching numerous wires and devices to his body. After that, he cannot remember anything else, and when morning comes, he realizes that he has somehow returned to Earth. While Lester is warning Mystery Inc. to be careful, he accidentally knocks over a waiter's tray of food. Seeing this, Scooby-Doo tries to take advantage of the situation and grab the food that has fallen onto the floor, but Shaggy eats it first. At that moment, Fred asks whether Lester has any proof that he was abducted. Lester confidently replies that he does. He then leads Mystery Inc. back to his house. At his home, Lester shows them his large collection of newspaper articles related to aliens. Although he has been interviewed by the media in the past, they have dismissed him as an eccentric man. Wanting more tangible evidence, Fred asks to see something more convincing. In response, Lester takes out several paintings. It turns out that Lester is a landscape painter, and the evidence he refers to is the artwork he has painted himself. One particular painting immediately catches Mystery Inc.'s attention because it closely resembles the UFO they saw earlier. As for the massive antenna towers outside the house, Lester explains that they were built by the United States government a year ago for the purpose of searching for extraterrestrial life. Lester then asks whether Mystery Inc. would like to see more evidence, but they reply that they have already seen enough. Since night has fallen, Lester suggests that they stay overnight. Velma and Daphne sleep on the bed. Fred sleeps on the sofa while Scooby-Doo and Shaggy sleep on the rooftop. Soon everyone falls asleep, completely unaware that they are being watched. Because Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are sleeping on the rooftop, they become the aliens' primary targets. The aliens quickly abduct both of them, carry them onto a UFO and fly away. When Scooby-Doo and Shaggy open their eyes, they find themselves tied to a table, exactly as Lester once described. Both of them panic at the moment they see the aliens. They can only struggle helplessly as the aliens attach strange devices to their bodies. The aliens then begin examining Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, but when they are distracted, Scooby-Doo uses his tail to free himself. He also manages to grab Shaggy, unaware that there is another alien nearby. As a result, during the struggle, both Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are quickly restrained once again. When morning arrives, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy wake up after hearing voices calling out to them. Standing before them in the desert are a young woman and a female dog. The moment Scooby-Doo and Shaggy see Crystal and Amber, they instantly understand what it feels like to fall in love at first sight. They no longer care about having been abducted by aliens. Shaggy asks what a beautiful girl like Crystal is doing in such a place, and she introduces herself as a freelance photographer. Crystal explains that she is there to take photographs of desert wildlife for a magazine. Shaggy then mentions that he saw a jackalope the day before, but Crystal assumes that he is only joking. It is not until Scooby-Doo brings up the aliens that she finally takes them seriously. Curious about what a jackalope might look like, Crystal expresses her interest, but Shaggy suggests that they return to town first. The four of them then get into a car and drive away. While Shaggy appears to be having great success charming Crystal, Scooby-Doo seems to be struggling much more. Suddenly Shaggy notices a box of food and quickly stuffs it into his mouth, which causes Crystal to burst into laughter when she realizes that it is dog food. Meanwhile, Mystery Inc. assumes that Scooby-Doo and Shaggy have already arrived at the diner, but they are surprised when they do not see either of them there. As the group begins to feel confused, Velma suddenly spots Scooby-Doo and Shaggy outside the window. The two of them quickly rush inside the diner. Fred suspects that Shaggy might be hypnotized, while Velma and Daphne realize that both Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are deeply in love. They are so completely infatuated that they forget all about being hungry. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy begin imagining their future together, including a house and children, and they become so lost in their daydreams that they even end up kissing each other. Mystery Inc. now begins to wonder where Scooby-Doo and Shaggy met Crystal and Amber. Shaggy quickly answers that they met in the desert, and he does not forget to talk about their experience of being abducted by aliens, which completely surprises the rest of the group. After breakfast ends, Mystery Inc. says goodbye to Lester, but they do not expect Scooby-Doo and Shaggy to undergo a complete transformation and suddenly act like polite and well-mannered gentlemen. Next, Mystery Inc. goes to look for a service station to repair their vehicle. There they meet Buck, who is a highly skilled mechanic. Fred quickly explains the condition of the mystery machine and Buck agrees to fix it. Just as Mystery Inc. steps outside, they unexpectedly run into Max, who is an employee from the SALF station. Max is already aware of their broken mystery machine and casually invites Mystery Inc. to visit his workplace, explaining that it is usually quite boring there anyway. However, before heading back, Max needs to purchase more fuel for the massive antenna towers. While helping transport the fuel, Shaggy accidentally gets a bit of it splashed onto his shirt. At that moment, Crystal and Amber appear and invite Scooby-Doo and Shaggy to go look for the jackalope. With no real reason to refuse, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy happily agree, while Velma, Fred, and Daphne follow Max to the SALF station. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy then lead Crystal and Amber to the area where they previously spotted the jackalope. While they are there, Scooby-Doo does not miss the chance to flirt with Amber and successfully catches her attention. Seeing this, Shaggy makes his move as well and picks a bouquet of flowers for Crystal, completely unaware that a spider is hiding inside. The result is that Shaggy ends up making a fool of himself. But the incident also manages to make Crystal laugh. After that, the two pairs head toward the Scorpion Ridge in search of the jackalope. However, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy hesitate because this is the same place where they saw the aliens before. Crystal and Amber notice their fears, so they act cute and playful, which quickly softens Scooby-Doo and Shaggy's resolve. At the same time, Velma, Fred, and Daphne are being shown around the SALF station by its staff. Although the work seems rather dull, they explain that even the smallest hope of making contact with extraterrestrial life makes it worthwhile. Fred asks why local livestock has frequently gone missing ever since the SALF station was built, but Laura suggests that the townspeople may have simply forgotten to lock their barns and are now trying to blame others. Velma then notices something strange. There is dried mud on the boots of the SALF staff. She begins to feel suspicious because they are surrounded by desert, and there should not be any mud in such a place. Meanwhile, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy remain completely smitten with Crystal and Amber. Even though they do not find any trace of the jackalope, the girls still thank them warmly. Just then, two military police officers appear and inform them that the area is under government investigation, and that Shaggy and Crystal are not permitted to stay there. When Crystal tries to ask for more details, the officers mention the recent alien abduction cases. Not wanting to get into trouble, Shaggy quickly pulls Crystal away. Crystal pretends to give in, but the moment they are out of the officer's sight, she pulls Shaggy back instead. At that point, Crystal finally reveals the truth about herself. She is not a freelance photographer but a government agent. The government has sent her to investigate the reported alien sightings in the area, but she needs additional help. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy agree to assist her without hesitation. Meanwhile, Velma, Fred, and Daphne say goodbye to Max as Lester arrives to pick them up. Velma shares her suspicions about the SALF staff, explaining that the dried mud on their boots could only have come from the Scorpion Ridge. However, Mystery Inc. does not realize that Max, Steve, and Laura are watching them from a distance and have already contacted the military police. Elsewhere, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy lead Crystal and Amber to the cave where they previously encountered the aliens. Shaggy points out the strange light that once shone from inside the cave, which only makes Crystal even more curious. At the same time, the others head toward the Scorpion Ridge and unexpectedly run into Buck. Daphne asks about the mystery machine, and Buck replies that he will finish repairing it later that afternoon. However, Buck's presence in such a desolate area immediately raises Velma's suspicions. Just then, the two military police officers overhear Shaggy and Crystal talking nearby. Before they can investigate further, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy imitate the sound of a rattlesnake, successfully scaring the officers away. Meanwhile, Velma, Fred, and Daphne say goodbye to Lester as they reach the Scorpion Ridge, the only place where water flows, causing dried mud to stick to the shoes of the staff at the SALF station. At the same time, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy see the strange light again, but this time with the presence of Crystal and Amber, they have more courage to move deeper. Velma, Fred, and Daphne move further down but find no water source. It appears to be completely dried up. By accident, the three discover a set of railway tracks. Following the tracks, they find wet rubble and a cave. They quickly move inside, where Fred accidentally steps on a fuel can that Max once buys. At the same moment, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy realize that the strange light they see is actually the light of gold. They begin to dream about buying an entire Scooby snack factory and eating Scooby snacks for the rest of their lives. However, Crystal ruins that dream by saying that someone else has already come here before. Just then, aliens appear, frightening everyone and causing them to run away in panic. Meanwhile, Velma, Fred, and Daphne also encounter aliens and are chased by two military police officers. As they run into a narrow road, two more aliens block their way and capture them. On the other side, Shaggy and the others are cornered by the military police and fall into a ravine, yet the officers show no intention of stopping and continue their pursuit. At this point, Velma figures out the truth. Behind the alien masks are employees from the SALF station. They confess that one day Max accidentally discovers a cave filled with gold, which used to be a mining site in the 1800s. If the miners at that time persist a little longer, they likely become extremely rich. However, the land now belongs to the government, so Max, Steve, and Laura decide to keep everything secret. The two military police officers are actually their friends in disguise, making it easier for them to dig. The alien rumors exist to prevent locals from approaching the area, and the UFO people see is merely a helicopter combined with lighting effects. To earn extra income, the three also steal livestock from local residents. Meanwhile, Shaggy and the others remain safe after falling into the ravine, but before they can move away, the two military police officers block their path. although Scooby-Doo and Shaggy feel terrified. They volunteer to stand in front to protect Crystal and Amber. Taking advantage of their distraction, Crystal and Amber transform into aliens to scare the officers. As soon as the officers run away, Crystal and Amber transform back and praise Scooby-Doo and Shaggy for their bravery. At the same time, the staff at the SALF station prepare to eliminate Velma, Fred and Daphne because the three know too much. Suddenly, the two military police officers run back and claim that they see aliens, but Max, Steve, and Laura only see 2 people and 2 dogs. Remembering how the officers run away in fear before, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy gain the courage to challenge them again. Seeing them put themselves in danger, Crystal and Amber are forced to transform into aliens once more. Witnessing this scene, everyone believes that aliens are real, in contrast to the fear on everyone's faces. Steve sees this as an opportunity to get rich. If they capture the aliens, they become wealthy and the gold no longer matters. Meanwhile, Amber restrains the 2 military police officers and Max, while Steve and Laura take advantage of Crystal and Amber's distraction and drive their vehicle straight toward them. During the escape, Crystal slips and falls, forcing Amber to rush forward to stop the car. At that moment, Mystery Inc. tells Scooby-Doo and Shaggy that the 2 aliens are actually Crystal and Amber. They are the girls that they once pursued, so they quickly run to rescue them. A violent collision occurs, causing Steve's car to flip over. Scooby-Doo accidentally crashes into the 2 military police officers and Max, who are trying to escape. Meanwhile, Steve and Laura try to escape, but the Mystery Inc. sets a net and captures them. Crystal and Amber are safe, so they transform back into their human and dog forms. At this point, they confess another truth. Crystal and Amber are indeed government agents, but they are not from Earth. They come from another planet. Seeing that Amber can talk does not shock the Mystery Inc. too much, because they also have a talking dog. Crystal and Amber came to Earth many years ago to carry out a mission, and now it is time for them to leave. Witnessing this moment makes Scooby-Doo and Shaggy unable to hide their sadness as they have to say goodbye to the ones they love. Although Crystal also wants to be with Shaggy, a long-distance relationship is too difficult. Scooby-Doo receives a kiss from Amber, and Crystal gives Shaggy a kiss as well before leaving. From a realistic point of view, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy actually receive a kiss from aliens. After that, Earth's government agents arrive and escort the employees of the SALF station away for the crime of stealing government property. When Max, Steve, and Laura keep talking about aliens, Lester says that he has evidence. He is even willing to take the government agents to his house to see it, which makes the Mystery Inc. laugh. Next, Buck appears and announces that he has finished fixing the mystery machine. Fred asks what Buck is doing at the Scorpion Ridge, and Buck admits that his hobby is collecting pressed flowers. It is an embarrassing secret for someone as serious as Buck, so the Mystery Inc. completely understands. Meanwhile, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are still sad about having to part with the ones they love. In life, it is rare to find someone you want to give your whole heart to, only to be forced to say goodbye. Seeing this, Velma takes out some Scooby snacks to lift Scooby-Doo and Shaggy's spirits.